Yo, yo, yo. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Hope you guys can hear me. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. Let me just check. You guys can hear me, right? Hey, Wrench. How you doing, man? Nice to see you after a good weekend. Let me just check. You guys can hear me. Yeah, you guys can hear me. Nice. Alrighty, righty. How you doing, mate? How's your weekend? Yo, I started doing Hack the Box, so you guys got me. I have to admit, I was wrong. Actually, Hack the Box got like more special stuff. Just make graph for SSTI. Oh. But I actually want to show you something. And I'm in the game too now. I've been doing some stuff, little by little. Pew, pew, pew. Did some challenges. Not sure if that counts to anything or not. But it was fun. I liked them. I think I completed this spooky one. A very basic one, but I liked it. Right? Probably will be going to some machines in future. Let's see if I can do any retired ones. Are there any retired or do I need... okay, there are free retired ones. Okay. So I can do these ones, like the easy ones or stuff. Which is good. And I think advanced search status, advanced search area of interest. I have to search for free ones. That's all I have to do. Because if I'm like retired, I can do, and I can do like they have to be free, right? So yeah, we'll be doing more of these. So that will be good, right? Yeah. So with that being said, and thank you so much, everyone. 458 subscribers. It's a big thing. It's a very big thing for me. So thank you so much. Okay, with that being said, welcome to Cryptography Basics 1, Task 6 and 7. Plus, somebody shared a very beautiful thing on my LinkedIn feed. I don't know if you guys would like to watch that or want to go for DEF CON. Like, this is a DEF CON video. Yeah, this one. By Michael Lee, the Signal Gate Saga. A very interesting one. Somebody mentioned it was related to OPSEC, specifically OPSEC of Trump administration and stuff like that. So something we can 100% watch if you guys are down for it. Let me share the link as well. So after we complete our first one, right? Like clearance, okay, blah, blah, blah. Let me share this. So if you guys are interested. So if you guys want, we can do this or we can move towards cryptography basics. Let me know whatever you prefer, right? But you guys can hear me, right? Yeah, you guys can hear me. I don't know why the captions have stopped. The captions are on. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So whichever you guys want, right? We'll do that because you guys are the king. You guys decide what I do and what I don't do. Awesome. So yeah, let's get started with and you can see the captions. Awesome. So let's get started with task 6, basic maths, and I will tell you something interesting things and why these operations, the one we are going to learn about, XOR and modulo, why specifically these ones are important for cryptography, and I will go a little bit into the gates, which is like a very fundamental building blocks of any electric signal, right? Which includes our whole computer science. So no for that. No for what? Let me put it this way here. No. You just mentioned no. That's it. No for what, bro? Oh, I see. Yo, Shriram, how you doing, brother? Howdy, ho. Yo, good time. You came actually at a beautiful time. I will show you something very interesting. which you will learn today and will be very helpful in your future. Basically, your what's this called? University life, or even like just understanding a lot of coding things, right? Short circuiting and stuff, which you can do in your coding. So, fine. Oh, I'm good too, man. Thank you so much. So, building blocks of modern cryptography lie in mathematics, right? To demonstrate some basic algorithms, we will cover two mathematical operations that are used in various algorithms. First is XOR and second is modulo. But before going into that, right, I will show you something interesting. A concept, go back, no. Concept called gates. What are gates, right? For every signal, right? Let's say if there is, if you guys know about electricity, right? There is, currents are in two ways, either like this, AC or DC. Majority of the time when we are talking about in computer science, we are talking about the DC current. Why? Because if you think, right, if this is voltage, this is a graph, right? This is time, let's say. And this is voltage. This could be, let's say, 0. For example, let's say this is 0 and this is 5, right? So at time x, let me clean this up one sec. And let me clean these two up. Sorry, give me one sec. I'll show you something beautiful. Two, three, 4, 5. So if you think about, and this to be 5, let's say if this is, or this is 1, right? For example, this means, right, at time 1, during this time, CH, do you have you made graphs with Python? Yeah. Actually, one of my things I did was, one of the GitHub things I did was with graphs. It's annoying. It's annoying. I will tell you this. It's annoying. I hate, those were very, like, I hate it. But this is where, like, I will say ChatGPT shines. Those stupid things. But yeah, so what I was saying here, right, is during this time, right, from time 0 to 1 second, let's say. Yeah, same, man, I understand. I went through those. Yeah, it's annoying. The worst part about, like, it's good you are at least doing in Python, because I did add Java as well. So both, Java is way worse than Python, I'll say that. But what I was saying right here is that in 1 second, right, from time 0 to 1 second, the voltage is 0. So that means it's 0, right? Here, 1 to 2, it's 1. Then it's 0. And then it's 1. Now, if you remember, in computer science, everything is zeros or 1, right? 1, 1, 1. So what's happening in the background is this. Voltage. There is some electrical capacity stored in one place, and there is 0 at one place, and there is 1. There is some, there is none, right? Zeros or 1. That's how the game works in electricity or with your stuff, right? Oh yeah, I hate myself. Yes, 100%. The one thing I hated more was my professors for giving me that. I'm like, I can draw with hand, and you are, or some other stuff. They're like, no, everybody's using Java. Use Java. Why to go other ways? I'm like, fuck off, man. Like, yeah, dude, professors are annoying from day one. So yeah, I hated myself a good amount of time. It was my second year too. I hated it. I don't know why they teach what they teach. Whatever. But yeah, let's not remember our dark past. RIP to that past. Thank God it's gone. But so this is zeros and ones, right? Now, let's say we are getting a signal, right? There are ways we can, like, if two signals are coming and we want to combine them, right? That's where gates are used, right? Where are signals could be like false, trues, right? Coming, zeros or ones are coming, right? Some kind of logic is coming. Anything can be coming, right? Where, let's say if 1 is true and 0 means false, right? So yeah, the logic gates. Yes, that's exactly what it is. So now we introduce logic gates. That's exactly the word. Thanks, man. So with logic gates, if we have, right, a value, let's say A and B, right, two values, we want them to go through this magical gate, this box, a box we have no idea what happens inside. You have played this game before. We all have, man. And we will get the result C, right? So A could be 0 or 1, B could be 0 or 1, right? But the gate, we have options of AND, OR, and there is NAND, NOR, but XOR. That's a special one, right? AND means, let's say if this is true and this is true, then only C will be true. If any one of them is false, right, C will be false, right? So how AND works, you guys know this, right? So if even A is 0 and B is 1, answer will be 0. If B is 0, A is 1, answer will be 0, right? Both of them are 0, answer is 0. Both have to be 1. Or is opposite of AND, where not exactly opposite, but like similar, in a bit opposite, in the sense that even if one of them is 1, even if this is 1 or this is 1, result will be 1, right? But now here's the game, right? And why I went through all this, right? I want to specifically talk about one gate and one gate only. Our main big guy for this story, XOR. Why XOR is so special? XOR is so special. If you look at like the gates, right? AND versus OR versus XOR. Let's look at these. Don't use XOR, it's not safe. What? Nah, dude. XOR is mathematically. No. XOR is mathematically very interesting. I'll tell you why. Right? It's because, let's say, if I'm using AND, right? If I'm using AND and the answer is 0. What is this? Okay, here. So if I'm using AND, let's say if I'm using AND, right? Oh, Wrench, you are just joking. Okay, never mind. What I was saying, right? If you use AND and answer is 0 or 1, if answer is, let's say, 1, more specifically, we can tell the value of A and B to be 1. If, right, if we were using OR here, right? Let's say if we are using OR and answer here is 0, right? Then I can tell the value of A and B both to be 0. Not a good security thing because I can reverse engineer it, right? Always make other people suffer, I guess. So I think you are psychopath, but just kidding, man. I love you. But XOR is a very special case, right? Why? Let's see this. Because it prevents reverse engineering. It basically prevents reverse engineering. That's why it's a very special one, right? So let's say A and B, right? And this is the XOR value. And that's why I wanted to take special time for this, so whoever watches it understands something well. If it is 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, right? If it's 0 and 0, right? XOR will produce 1. If it is 0 and 1, it will produce 0, 0, and 1. Right? If you see this table, 0, 0 XOR produce 0, 0, 1 produce, oh, it's opposite. No, my bad. It's been a long time. Actually, I made a mistake. 0, 0, 1, 1. Okay. It happens. But yeah, so if you can see 0, 1, 1, 0, right? What that means is, hey, I understand the math though, the why is important, is that if I look at zeros, right? If I look at the final value of XOR, if it is 0, can you tell the value of A or B? No, you can't. It can be 0 or 1. If I look at value of XOR as 1, can I tell the value of A or B? No, because any of them could be 0 and any of them could be 1, right? And that's the beauty of XOR operation. You can't reverse engineer what the individual value of X or A or B would be if you just have the result value. But in a case of or and, you can, right? And that's why it's very important. It's a very used operation in the guy. This guy will make world secure. Nah, I fucked up with the XOR, man. But okay, so this is like the reason why XOR is important, right? And that's why XOR is used in cryptography. XOR stand for exclusive OR, is a logical operation in binary arithmetic that plays a crucial role in various computing and cryptographic applications. In binary, XOR compares two bits and returns 1 if the bits are different and 0 if they are same, as shown in the table below. And this is the symbol of XOR. This one I have seen a lot. I don't know many people use this. I just don't like using caret symbol. But yeah, so this is the table 0, 0. If they're same, 0. If they're different, 1. If this is the first time you work with the truth table, it is a table that shows all possible outcomes. The XOR truth table above states all 4 cases of zeros and ones, right? Let's consider an example where we want to apply XOR to the binary number 1010. Basically, 1010 it will be, and then 1100. Let's put a operation here. 1010 1100. So given the fact they are same, 0, I keep making this 110, right? This is going to be the result. Hopefully I don't screw it up again. Okay, this is the result, right? When we perform the XOR, this we get this result. You may be wondering how XOR can play any role in cryptography. XOR has several interesting properties that make it useful in cryptography and error detection. One key property is that applying XOR to a value when with itself results in 0, and applying XOR to any value with 0 leaves it unchanged. Those are big things, right? This specifically end one is very important. So if you apply it to itself 0, because they all will be same. But if you apply to 0, the value will be same or unchanged. This means A XOR A 0. A XOR 0 is A. For many binary value A. For any binary value A. Additionally, XOR is commutative. A XOR B is B XOR A. And it is associative, that is A XOR B XOR C, A and B in bracket, is same as A XOR an XOR value of B and C. So those are very interesting mathematical one. But more interestingly for me is like, or what I have seen at least in use, is that when it's applied to 0 and itself, those values, because those I've seen in use. Now if we know C and K, we can recover P. We start with C and K, P XOR K, and then K. But we know that P XOR K and XOR of those is same as this, because XOR is associative. So we are doing something like 4th grade maths. I hate these terms. So basically C is P XOR K value, right? Furthermore, we know that K XOR K is 0. So P XOR K, all these, and becomes P XOR 0 becomes P. In other words, XOR served as simply symmetrical encryption algorithms. In practice, it is more complicated than as we need a secret key as long as the plain text. What that means is, if your text, your information is, let's say, 128 bits, we need an XOR key of 128 bits, basically. Modulo operation. Modulo, you guys are in like college, right? A lot of them, or like a lot of you, and like looking for a job. Modulo operation is very helpful because not just cryptographic wise, but if you go on lead code, right, there is a bunch of good questions which use modulo, a good amount of like problems. Another mathematical operation we often encounter in cryptography is the modulo operator, commonly written as the percentage sign or as mod. The modulo operator, I hate every part of maths, I understand, man. But that's the thing, like if you understand this logic, right, basically sigma mod everything. But like if you understand this part, why like it's used and it's hard to go back, that's I think all you need to know. Because this is something you might use, but it's so rare. I don't think even you will use it. The modulo operator x mod y is the remainder where x is divided by y. In our life, so basically, let's say x is 12, right? Y is 5. Modulo will be 2. Oh, this is the worst example. Let's say if x is 22 and modulo x modulo 5 is basically 2, right? Because that's the remainder. Okay, so in our daily calculation, we focus always on the results of division rather than the remainder. So we always focus on like 22 divided by 5, 4. We focus on 4, not on 2. The remainder plays a significant role in cryptography because again, you can't go back, right? If I give you some value x, if I say, hey, x, and I give you the value of y to be 5, and the answer is 2, you can't tell if x is like 2, 12, 22, 7. You just don't know, right? And that's the main important part of like not being able to have reverse engineering on your cryptographic algorithm. Close this. You need to work with large numbers when solving some cryptography exercise. If our calculator fails, we suggest using a programming language such as Python. Python has a built-in int type that can handle integers at an arbitrary size and would initially switch to a larger types if needed. Many other programming languages have dedicated libraries for big integers. If you prefer to do your math online, use Wolfram Alpha. Wolfram Alpha is a very, I will say, very well-known library and like a community. It's a very big community because this is where data, maths, and computer science meet, in my opinion, right? I still remember, I think, how big it is. I was working at Staples as a sales associate, right? Selling, if somebody comes, ask them what they want and sell them MacBook, computer if they want, small things. A guy came and showed me Wolfram Alpha and I was like blown away at that time. It wasn't when I was in my first or second year. So let's consider a few examples, right? 25 modulo 5 is 0 because 25 divided by 5 is 5 and remainder is 0. 23 modulo 6, 5 because 23 divided by 6 is 3 and basically the remainder is 5. With 23 modulo 7 is 2 because 7 times 3 21. An important thing to remember about modulo is that it's not reversible. If we are given the equation x percentage 5 4, infinite values of x would satisfy this equation. Main reason of using this. Modulo operation always returns a non-negative result less than the divisor, right? Basically less than 5. If I'm using this, it has to be less than 5 or I can divide it again. This means that for any integer a and positive integer n, the result of a modulo n will always be in range 0 to n minus 1, right? N minus 1 basically. So that was all your maths. Hopefully, Wrench, you don't hate me right now. And hopefully that was not a lot to take in right now. But you guys have to answer this question now. 1000 or 1001, not 1001, sorry. 1001 mod XOR 1010. What is the answer? You guys have to give me. Then this one I can help you. Yeah, I went a little bit extra in the XOR. That's why I was wondering. So good. Based on that question, I know you don't hate me. So that's good. I love you too, man. This one, let's see. 9091. I'll not just I'll just not answer. Okay. Shriram, that's on you now. 0011. Let's see. 0011. Yeah. Oh. Beauty. This is the sound. I don't. It's the sound is okay, but I don't like it. I like the hack the box sound. Okay. This one. Mr. Bones. No problem, buddy. You will like it actually. I did a little bit explanation of why XOR and modulo is important. Basically, it's hard to reverse, right? Hard to know what is the answer. Like if you know the final value, let's say XOR 0, you can't tell if A is 1 or zeros. Same with if they are 1, you can't tell which one is ones or zeros. Whereas in OR or AND operation, let's say in case of OR, if the value is 0, I know both of them are 0. In case of AND, I know if answer is 1, both are 1, right? But XOR, you can't tell for any of these, right? And that's the big reason for XOR. And same with modulo. Hope you go through this, right? Like, not that hard. I went a bit hard on XOR because I did a lot of, I was obsessed with cryptographic algorithms during my final year. So hopefully it's interesting. So this one, I think I'll just, you don't have to do it. I will just do it. Divided by 9091. What is it? Let's multiply. Oh, thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it. You taking time out. What is this? Paste. Why it's not pasting? Okay. What is 13047? Sorry, I'm doing some maths here. 3565, let's see. You have any experience programming in Rust? I have been diving deep into it lately. I haven't done Rust actually. How is it? Like, I know one guy actually specifically who talks about it. I don't know if you guys know Primogen, right? He talks about Rust a lot. So maybe I might actually look into it. Because I've been like trying to get some lead code done with Python. I have some work coming in. So it's so crazy you can use Python within Rust and Java. Oh, dang. Need to watch some. Okay, let me put it in my wish list. 1 second, lads. I'll do this. Then I have to go Rust. This will be interesting. It is 0. Thank you so much, bro. Only probably there's much more to remember. Oh, I see. Shouldn't be bad. Like, one request though also came was Go because of work. I had that request also come in. So maybe we can look together. If not this video on Discord, I will be down. But yeah, rest I think we can look together 100%. Sorry, my throat was gone. Every num percentage to even number. Yeah, even number modulo 2 is 0. 1 plus 1 is equal to 1. I agree. Okay, so this is the summary, right? In this room, we learned about importance of cryptography and some of the problems that it solves. We also introduced symmetric and asymmetric encryption. Finally, we explained the XOR and the modulo operation. This is like, I will say, this is a good basic one. And what we learned today in this, if you understand, this was basically 1 month of me spending my time in university for no reason. Yeah, we did that. Yeah, we did that, Shriram. Amazing thing. You should try it. In the next room, public key cryptography basics, we will visit various asymmetric cryptography systems or crypto systems and see how they solve the problems we face in the digital world. Beautiful. So lads, now we did it. Nice, I like it. Ooh, I like this thumbs ups and stuff. You have a streak. Can you reach day 3? Bro, I hate these streaks, man. You know, best one for streaks, my favorite one for streaks is dev daily. The one I use for this. 1 second, let me pull it up. This guy here. Because on the weekends, it pauses my streaks. So if I'm not touching technology on weekends, it doesn't hurt. But yeah, sorry. Do you want, yeah, over the wire, I will say if you are starting with Linux, want to get used to of it, over the wire bandit is amazing, man. And I did like, my longest stream was here. Yeah, over the wire was amazing. It's amazing. Okay, now lads, now the question is to you guys. Let me show you the content of public one, and then I have that video. This is a premium room, right? I'll go over it. Beautiful part about it, you don't have to pay, right? And whatever you ask me, I can go over again and again. In this, we will talk about, let's see, almost done everything on it. Oh wow, like you have done all the over the wire ones? Damn, bro. So this one is, damn, yeah. Okay, so we have a DEF CON video which was about OPSEC, right? Operation Security. That is very important, right? A lot of hackers just get like caught because of their OPSEC. So either we can look on that, and second is public key cryptography basic. Discover how public key ciphers such as RSA, if you guys don't know, right? Lazy? I'll show you something actually interesting. Let me, hopefully I don't share something. I don't know if you guys can see. Do you guys see RSA authenticator on my system? Like there's this RSA authenticator. So RSA, like I use it in my daily life. I think I'm probably the only one on this stream using RSA authenticator. I have a couple of stuff I use it for, like personal stuff, like not personal stuff, work stuff, but like also some other stuff, right? So we have RSA algorithms which are used a lot, right? A lot. Then we also have their applications such as SSH, how they are useful. Defi-L1, amazing algorithm, right? PGP and GPG. Oh, nice. Saeed, that's awesome. Yeah, dude, like RSA is mostly like a work thing. Very hardly people use it for their personal one, I believe, right? Or very hardly people have it too. I wish I can hack governments, man. The only hack I want to do to the government is reduce the taxes, man. Reduce the taxes. Too much. Too much. Too much. I don't know if you guys pay taxes, man. It's the worst thing ever. But okay, so you guys decide, right? We have PGP, which is pretty good privacy. A big thing. Not sure if CH, but I know what you do, Wrench. Yeah, Wrench is a hacker. Wrench is a APT. He's just keeping an eye on us. But to give you guys a little bit idea of what pretty good privacy is, there is something happened. PGP USA China students. Based on the things I'm searching, Chinese PGP classes cryptography. So basically, I think I have to find where it was, but to give you guys an idea, right, what happened at one time. Do it, bro. Yeah. Do it, bro. Do it this lab. Okay. Noob stuff. Hacking government for fun. Yeah. But to give you guys idea, right? US government, right? When encryption, I think around the time we were talking about DES algorithms and stuff, we had Chinese students, specifically why I'm mentioning Chinese. I don't hate Chinese students, but like I'm mentioning exactly is that US universities were talking about encryption and specifically pretty good privacy. Such a good algorithm, hard to crack, right? And it was such a good algorithm, US government told universities to ban Chinese students from taking those classes or any of those encryption classes. So that's there is some history there as well. That's one. Second we have is this stream I shared.
Wonderful time.
This is we are currently clean on operation security. Signal Gate saga. I have no idea what they talk, but as far as I know, we can have a quick look. In March, former National Security Advisor Mike Waltz accidentally invited a journalist into his war crimes signal group with other senior Trump officials. We are currently clean on OPSEC. Secretary of Defense posted to the group. In May, Waltz was photographed checking his signal message under the table during a cabinet meeting. Damn. Let's go racism. New skill unlocked. You guys are crazy. Holy man. Wrench, you are crazy, man. But yo, so signal, right? Let's see what encryption signal use. You can make some pretty good malware using Rust. Oh, wow. Damn. Oh, they use AES. Huh. End-to-end encryption. Extended triple DH. Diffie-Hellman, which we'll be learning. Does any tech currently use PGP? I think PGP is still used very much. Yes, PGP is modern implementation open PGP still in various technologies today. So email uses PGP, file encryption, secure communication, basic GNU uses it, man. I use Signal. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Why? Yeah, dude, it's crazy. But like, I will say this. My personal my choice would be let's watch this video. It would be like a 40-minute one, not long. But then it will give us a good idea on like how we can connect the dots, right? With PGP, Diffie-Hellman, right? Exchange, because Signal, he mentioned that the cabinet was using Signal messages. So we can look into, after looking at this video, learn about, do our public key cryptography basics, and then look how a signal type application, a messaging application uses these, right? And how secure those are. That would be a fun way to do it because we have something real life. We learn about it, then we look more in real life. Right? PGP key is so useful. Yeah. Yeah, signal. Yeah. Oh, wait. Did they? Wait, hold on. Only turns out Waltz was actually using a knockoff of Signal called TM Signal. Immediately after that, Telemessage, the company that makes TM Signal, was hacked and the hacker was able to access plain text Signal messages. It was then hacked again, and the second hacker exfiltrated hundreds of gigabytes of data before Telemessage took its service offline. This talk is about entire Signal Gate saga, the journalists getting invited to Signal Group, Trump officials lying to Congress, the history of telemessages, which was founded by a former Israeli spook. An analysis of TM Signal source code that proves the company lied about supporting end-to-end encryption, the trivial exploit that was used to extract data from telemessages archive server, and an analysis of hundreds of gigabytes of memory dumps. So basically, Trump execution again effed up. We are cooked, yeah. Losing them sometimes. I end up losing them sometimes. There was a news like that. Oh, Dude, this would be interesting to read, honestly. Like, not just go over it. From OPSEC to SecOps. SecOps. Yeah, this is actually funny. From OPSEC to security. Oops. More need to do set the vulnerability to use. Oh, we have Clippy. Never read your classified emails and send them to random group chats. Clippy would never constantly line up positive. Yo, your brother is here, Reg. We have your cousin too. Clippy just wants to help. Another Clippy, yeah. Okay, this is I think a lot of people have commented out on this, right? So do you think you guys want to do this? Yeah, brothers together, strong brothers, man. But you guys tell me. We'll take over the world now. I would rather have Clippy take over the world than anybody else. Yeah, you guys down? There you go. Okay, so yeah, I'll keep it. This is a good way, right? You guys want me to like make it bigger? Oh, you are doing some vibe coding. Nice, nice. Yeah. Okay. This is going to be interesting. I'm actually excited. Let's go. Okay. So let's get started.
Hello, DEF CON. Having a good afternoon, a good day? Hell yeah. So today, I'm going to tell you the epic story of the Signalgate saga. This is a story about unbelievable incompetence from the highest levels of the Trump administration. It starts out bad, but then it gets worse, and then somehow it gets even worse. I'm Mike Ali. I'm an independent security researcher and a journalist and an open source developer. I closely followed the Signalgate saga as it unfolded. I used OSINT to dig into telemessage and blogged about my findings. I published an analysis of the telemessage signal source code, which was cited by...
Wait, what is worse? Do you don't like this setup or? Oh, bro talks weird. Bro, he's a journalist and a hacker and open source contributor. I think that's is. Do you guys like this setup though? Like this is like good enough? Idor, what's up, bro? Always have. Yo, Idor, howdy ho. Okay, so let's get into this, right? This setup is good. Okay, cool.
Congress. I published an analysis of the telemessage signal source code, which was cited by Congress. I published articles about the hacks, which I'll get to soon enough, in 404 Media and Wired. This talk includes a lot of Trump politics, especially at the beginning. But don't worry, before long, we'll get to the mind-bogglingly incompetent technical details. Without further ado, let's start at the beginning. On March 13th, Mike Waltz, who was Trump's national security advisor at the time, invited the Atlantic's editor-in-chief, Jeffrey Goldberg, to a signal group with 18 other people. The group included people like Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, John Radcliffe, the Director of the CIA, Tulsi Gabbard, the Director of National Intelligence, Stephen Miller, the White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy, among other people. On March 15th, Pete Hegseth posted war plans to the group. He posted a schedule for a drone strike in Yemen, and then a few hours later, the US actually dropped bombs on a building there. This is all according to Goldberg's March 24th article. And in case you're not aware, before being in charge of the biggest and best funded military on earth, Pete Hegseth was the weekend co-host of Fox and Friends. Here he is responding to this article.
Forward to it. One question.
Can you share how your information about war plans against the Houthis in Yemen was shared with a journalist in The Atlantic? And were those details classified?
You're talking about a deceitful and highly discredited so-called journalist who's made a profession of peddling hoaxes time and time again, to include the, I don't know, the hoaxes of Russia, 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 or the fine people on both sides hoax, or suckers and losers hoax. So this is the guy that peddles in garbage. Looking forward to it.
So just saying, people like these should never be. You guys can hear me, right? Just saying, people like these should never be in politics, because if the only thing they do is like say shit like this, we have a bunch of Rahul Gandhis in US. Just saying. I don't know if you guys know about Indian politics, but a lot of Rahul Gandhis in Canada and US. Just saying, lads. You can't make it smaller. Okay.
The signal group that Trump administration people used to coordinate the bombing in Yemen had disappearing messages in it. This means that they were likely violating laws like the Federal Records Act, which requires government officials to preserve communications like this. So immediately after the Atlantic article was published, the government watchdog group American Oversight sued the Trump administration for violating federal records laws. And at the same time, on March 25th and 26th, Tulsi Gabbard and John Radcliffe testified before the Senate and House Intelligence Committees. They both claimed that nothing classified was discussed in the signal group. And they definitely discussed classified information in the signal group, so basically they both lied while testifying under oath to Congress. Immediately after the senior Trump officials finished lying to Congress, The Atlantic published this follow-up story. It included screenshots of everything posted in the signal group. In the group, they expressed contempt for European allies. Here is Vice President J.D. Vance saying, "I just hate bailing Europe out again." And Pete Hegseth saying, "I fully share your loathing of European freeloading. It's pathetic." And here is when Pete Hegseth posted the March 15th war plans. He posted a team update with the timeline for the attack. At 12:15 Eastern, F-18 combat aircrafts launch with their first strike package. At 13:45, the strike window starts. At 14:10, more F-18s launch. And by 14:15, the first bombs will definitely drop. This is also where he, for some reason, posted, "We are currently clean on OPSEC." Why did Pete Hegseth say, "We are currently clean on OPSEC"? Like, did he review some sort of OPSEC checklist and confirm that everything was done correctly? No, of course he didn't. What would being clean on OPSEC even entail? Maybe it would include checking that everyone in their operational signal group was actually supposed to be there before posting the war plans. The only reason I can think of that Hegseth said, "We are currently clean on OPSEC," is that he wanted to sound cool to his friends. There is really no other reason. Here's more of the signal messages from later in the day. This is when they bombed an apartment building. Mike Waltz posted, "The first target, their top missile guy, we had a positive ID of him walking into his girlfriend's building, and now it's collapsed." And J.D. Vance said, "Excellent." The Trump administration had just collapsed an entire residential building full of civilians to target one person. A lot of the media refer to these chat logs as war plans, but there's a strong argument that this strike was a war crime.
So there is, just want to say, right, this idea that so many people died because of one guy. If you see, there is a very beautiful saying, and this I will remember for my whole life. If you see a table, right, of 10 people sitting having dinner, and one of them is a Nazi, actually all 10 are Nazis. So just because it's very gotta do what gotta do, right? Like 100%, like if at the level US have, right, amount of money they are spending, sure they can do it in better ways. But just saying that all were residentials, there was like, oh, my voice is low. Sorry, man. Sorry. So what I was saying, right, there is a very beautiful saying. It happened in Canada, right? The reason I learned it was actually in Canada because a Nazi was in Canadian Parliament, right? Everybody was giving him a standing ovation. This is how stupid Canada is. And these guys, sorry, dude, I am like kind of worked up because like I'm reached at a level in my life where it is affecting me to a level I just hate it. I wish it didn't, and why I wish I had no stories like this. But the world is different. But as I was saying, right? If you see 10 people on a dinner table, if one is a Nazi, actually all 10 are Nazis, right? Bro, we have gangsters. They just have Nazi. It's crazy. But like what I'm saying is, if a very big terrorist, right, or somebody who is actually connected to terrorists like that is going, right, to a building, you need to assume that there will be a lot more stuff going in that, right? So just blatantly saying that the whole building was residential is one thing I'll say. But yes, there would be a lot of people who don't even know this. So yes, half 50-50 yes. And also one more thing. I don't know if you guys see this. You guys see at the very bottom here? Al Jazeera, whatever. Fuck Al Jazeera. That's all I want to say. Mr. Bones, so you were saying something. I just hate this Al Jazeera because a lot of their folks are connected to ISIS and all these, and they like to share propaganda, and they don't care. There is no accountability on their side. Whether it's about like so many Indian stuff they have said and things which are like just stupid, or anything about so many other countries, so many about African countries, European, South American. So I just hate Al Jazeera. Fuck them.
According to Yemen's Ministry of Health, this attack killed 53 people, including 5 children, and it injured another 98 people. Yeah. It's a war crime to intentionally kill civilians in a military operation, and that's exactly what they did here. The U.S. isn't even at war with Yemen. Personally, I think senior Trump officials talking about classified stuff on Signal is irresponsible.
Wait, hold up. So currently I just added a whole obfuscated cargo to my Rust project. Panda, what's up? My Rust project basically injecting pre-made code into my program to get it started. Oh! Just cargo add obfuscate. And it worked? Oh, damn. Oh, Panda, you outside today? Oh. Crazy. One sec.
Sure. And the way they're going about doing it is incredibly incompetent. And lying to Congress about it is illegal.
Everybody's saying hi to you, Panda.
Trump officials talking about classified stuff on Signal is irresponsible, sure. And the way they're going about doing it is incredibly incompetent. And lying to Congress about it is illegal, and there should be repercussions. But it's not actually horrible. Collapsing an entire building full of innocent people to kill one person is horrible. Pete Hegseth didn't just share the Yemen war plans with the journalist. According to reporting by NBC News, he also, for some reason, shared them in a separate Signal group with his wife, his brother, and his personal lawyer. Here is a video clip of NBC's reporting.
Tonight, NBC News has learned shortly before U.S. fighter jets took off to launch airstrikes against Iranian-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen last month. The head of U.S. Central Command, Army General Eric Kurilla, used a secure government system to send Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, his superior, specific details about the imminent operation, according to 3 U.S. officials with direct knowledge of the exchanges. Minutes later, the sources say Hegseth used his personal phone to send some of that information to at least 2 group chats on the messaging app Signal, one with Hegseth's wife, his brother, and his personal attorney. The material included when those fighter jets would take off and when they would hit their targets, details that in the wrong hands could put the American pilots in danger. Hegseth today denied sharing any classified information on Signal.
I look at war plans every single day. What was shared over Signal then and now, however you characterize it.
Why do I feel like I am a COD campaign mission? It looks like it. And how easily these guys are like just flying over this information is crazy.
What was shared over Signal then and now, however you characterize it, was informal, unclassified coordinations for media coordination and other things. That's what I've said from the beginning.
When asked, President Trump again this week said he remains confident in Hegseth.
Oh, total. President Trump, why do you even ask a question like that?
There is no state secret in a healthy relationship. That's such a good line. If you like I will say this, lads. A man in love will not be able to keep any secret from his wife, and vice versa. And the Onion, the finest news source.
So let's fast forward a few months to July. Tulsi Gabbard and John Ratcliffe lied to Congress when they said they didn't discuss classified information in the Signal Group. Pete Hegseth has lied repeatedly about the same thing. This Washington Post article confirms that they were all lying. The head of U.S. Central Command, General Michael Eric Kurilla, sent an email over the military's classified network, SIPRNet, that was marked secret/no foreign, and so then Hegseth copied war plans from this email to send to random people over Signal. According to The Guardian, an internal White House investigation figured out how Goldberg got added to the Signal Group. In October, before Trump was elected, Goldberg had emailed the Trump campaign, quote, about a story that criticized Trump for his attitude towards wounded service members. Someone forwarded the email to Brian Hughes, Trump's campaign spokesperson. Brian Hughes then copied and pasted the contents of the email, including Goldberg's phone number in his email signature, to Mike Waltz. At the time, Waltz was the Trump campaign's national security surrogate.
Lads, give me 1 second. I'm coming back. Give me 1 second. I'm running and coming back. Sorry. Okay, we're here.
At the time, Waltz was the Trump campaign's national security surrogate. This is from the Guardian article. According to the White House, the number was erroneously saved during a contact suggestion update by Waltz's iPhone. So it seems like the real culprit here was Siri. So let's recap. Last October, before Trump was elected, Mike Waltz had a contact on his phone for Hughes. Then Siri updated the contact to include Goldberg's phone number. Fast forward several months, Trump is president. Brian Hughes, who used to be the Trump campaign spokesperson, is now the spokesperson for the National Security Council. Mike Waltz, who used to be the Trump campaign national security surrogate, is the national security advisor, but apparently he's still using the same phone. And when Waltz created his little war crime signal group, he tried to add Hughes. But since Goldberg's phone number was listed under Hughes' contact card, he actually added Goldberg to the group.
Oh. So because like it was saved wrong, like it was sent by the wrong person, saved wrongly. Wow. Yo, lads, keep an eye on your contacts, man.
Would not have happened if they were using separate dedicated devices for classified information like they're supposed to. It also wouldn't have happened if they used whatever NSA recommends for this sort of communication instead of Signal on their iPhones. And don't get me wrong, Signal is a very secure messaging app, and it's much better if they had that they're using Signal than if they had used something like Telegram. But they're just really, really bad at OPSEC.
The teen want not to accept group chat invites from National Security Advisor. She doesn't know. Holy. This is roasting at another level.
On May 1st, a Reuters photographer took this photograph of a Trump cabinet meeting in the White House. The person closest to the camera is the National Security Advisor, Mike Waltz.
Damn.
This was actually his last day as National Security Advisor because he had just gotten demoted. But even so, Mike Waltz was bored. Rather than paying attention to the meeting or to the photographer standing right behind him, he was clandestinely checking his messages on the phone under the table. People quickly zoomed into this photo and noticed that he seemed to be checking Signal messages. And if you look closely, it looks like he has conversations up with J.D. Vance, Tulsi Gabbard, Marco Rubio, and others. But also, notice that the box at the bottom doesn't say verify your Signal PIN. It says verify your TM SGNL PIN. 404 Media was the first to report that Mike Waltz wasn't using Signal, but rather an obscure fork of Signal made by a company called Telemessage.
Yeah.
Telemessage's marketing material says that the app keeps, quote, intact the Signal security and end-to-end encryption when communicating with other Signal users, and that, quote, the only difference is the telemessage version captures all incoming and outgoing Signal messages for archiving purposes.
Oof.
What could possibly go wrong?
Archives everything.
Telemessage was founded by Guy Levitt and Gil Shapira in Tel Aviv, Israel.
Yo. You guys want to start a messaging app, please? We will name it CH Signal. So we can get like some good information next time about all the wars.
In 1999. Today it's based in Petah Tikva, which is just east of Tel Aviv. In February of last year, 2024, the US-based company Smarsh acquired Telemessage, but it's still run by its Israeli team. One of the founders, Guy Levitt, is currently the CEO. This is from his bio on the Telemessage website. They took all of the contents from their website down in May, so this is from an archived version of it. From 1996 until 1999, he served as, quote, the head of planning and development of one of Israel Defense Forces intelligence elite technical units. Then he left Israeli intelligence in 1999 and founded Telemessage. The other co-founder is Gil Shapira, and he's currently the vice president of business development. He was a software developer for the Israeli Air Force in the 90s. Telemessage sells mobile archiver products to corporate.
Sorry guys, I have to go back quickly. Shipra, one of Telemessage's co-founders, was a big guy in Israel Air Force. Their R&D guy, Bachelor of Science at Aerospace, okay, Israel Institute of Technology. Huh, interesting.
Development. He was a software developer for the Israeli Air Force in the 90s. Telemessage sells mobile archiver products to corporate and government customers. These include modified versions of WhatsApp, WeChat, Telegram, and Signal. These apps work just like the normal messaging apps, except that they also make a copy of every message that the app sees and archives them to a server controlled by the customer.
WhatsApp, identical to regular WhatsApp while capturing all WhatsApp calls and stuff. Identical to regular WeChat while capturing all the... What the fuck is this going
Just
on?
like the normal app, WeChat, corporate and government. Telemessage sells mobile archiver products to corporate and government customers. These include modified versions of WhatsApp, WeChat, Telegram, and Signal. These apps work just like the normal messaging apps, except that they also make a copy of every message that the app sees and archives them to a server controlled by the customer.
What the fuck?
So, when Mike Waltz was bored and checking his TM SGNL messages, he was using Telemessage's Signal Capture app. He wasn't using Signal. Using Telemessage might make what they're doing slightly less illegal, although there's still the classified information stuff. But as you'll see, it's much, much less secure than if they were using the real Signal app.
Yeah.
On April 15th, Telemessage published this blog post about Signalgate. It explains how using Signal's disappearing messages violates federal records laws and how Telemessage would solve all of their problems.
Damn.
So at what point, all of their problems?
And you guys can go on this 2nd May 2025 on Telemessage app, like lessons from the Signal app security incident. It's on Web Archive he's showing from. Below is the URL.
So at what point in time did the Trump administration start using Telemessage? Was it before or after they lied to Congress? I don't know for sure, but I think that most likely they switched to telemessage in response to Signalgate. After Signalgate, they got sued, they got grilled by Congress, they were very embarrassed in the media, they're still very embarrassed. And a few weeks after that, telemessage itself blogged about how TM-SGNL would solve all the Trump administration's problems. Yeah. So my guess is that they probably started using telemessage sometime in the second half of April. When I learned that Waltz was using TM-SGNL, I immediately went looking for a copy of the app. Reading through their website, it became clear that they don't distribute these apps in the App Store or in Google Play. I wanted a copy of the app so that I could request the source code. Since TM-SGNL is clearly a fork of Signal, and Signal is released under the AGPL open source license, they will be violating the license if I had a copy of the app and they didn't provide the source code. But it didn't come to that. Someone on Mastodon sent me this link to their page on their website that I hadn't found, where they published the source code themselves. So to make it easier for researchers to look into, I pushed copies of the source code to GitHub. This is the Android version, and the zip file that I downloaded from their website contained a .git folder complete with a Git history and multiple branches.
Oh, wow.
I published the iPhone source code too, but this version didn't include a .git folder. And in fact, on closer inspection, it looks like that they actually just published the code for Signal for iOS itself and not for TM-SGNL. So I'm pretty sure that telemessage is currently violating Signal's AGPL license here for the iOS version.
Damn. So much.
One of the first things I noticed when I went looking through the Android code was that it includes hard-coded credentials. See the generate talk name and generate talk pass variables at the bottom here? If you grep the source code for these variables, you can see that they're used for authenticating to telemessage's WordPress API to submit debug logs from the app. So it's absurd that they're hard-coding credentials in their app and that they're using a WordPress plugin as part of their app's infrastructure. I actually am very curious. I obviously didn't try to authenticate to this WordPress API with these credentials, but if somebody did, like, what data could they have actually pulled from that WordPress server? I don't know. There's no way that this software was audited for security issues. So anyway, shortly after I published the TM-SGNL source code to GitHub, an anonymous source contacted me and told me that they hacked telemessage. I brought the story to 404 Media and published it alongside Joseph Cox. The hacker had found a trivial vulnerability in telemessage's server that gave them access to Java heap dump files, which are basically snapshots of everything in memory, in the server's memory at the time it was created. These files contain usernames and passwords for telemessage users, and also plain text chat logs.
Plain text chat log. So there is no, there is a thing actually we've talked about, I think a couple of days ago, I think, right? There is two very important things for any security, any company, data company in US, right? Or anywhere else. A very big standard in tech is data in rest and data in motion should always be encrypted, right? Data at rest, always be encrypted. Data in motion, always be encrypted. If this is happening, right? The thing he said, it was all plain text. Zero, there is another certificate. Let me put it out. 27,000 ISO 27001. I think that's the one. Have a look at this. These are the certificates every single company has to go through for even like getting some like any good big level client. So I don't know what's going on.
In telemessage's server that gave them access to Java heap dump files, which are basically snapshots of everything in memory, in the server's memory at the time it was created. These files contain usernames and passwords for telemessage users, and also plain text chat logs.
Nice.
The hacker said, I would say the whole process took about 15 to 20 minutes. It wasn't much effort at all. After downloading a heap dump, the hacker grepped it for the word password and found a username and password. They tried logging in, and this is what they saw. The hacker sent this screenshot of Telemessage's admin panel logged in as a US Customs and Border Protection user. I've redacted all the details here, but this lists the names, phone numbers, and email addresses of 747 members of CBP. The hacker sent me the heap dump file, and I found this in it. As you can see, this is a big JSON object. This message is sent to a group called GD Macro, which is from the cryptocurrency firm Galaxy Digital. It says, just spoke to a Dem staffer on the Senate side. 2 co-sponsors, also Brooks and Gillibrand, did not sign the opposition letter, so they think the bill still has a good chance of passage, the Senate, with 5 more Dems supporting it. So they were trying to get the Genius Act passed, which is a Republican-led crypto-friendly law that lightly regulates stablecoins. And they're referring to Democratic Senators Kristen Gillibrand and Angela Alsobrooks, who stood with Republicans to get it passed. So this is an example of stuff that people are talking to within the telemessage app. A few weeks after the 404 media story, I wrote an article in Wired that explains the vulnerability itself. The hackers started by looking at the domain secure.telemessage.com, which is where users log in. The hacker, quote, noticed that they were hashing passwords to MD5 on the client side. Client side.
Let's read the full thing. Something that negates the security benefits of hashing password, as the hash effectively becomes the password. Basically, there is no point in hashing that using MD5. So this is why we are learning. Jolly, what's up, bro? Long time no see. Good morning, guys. I love to watch conventions. Even I never visited one, but they put much effort into their readings. Yeah, MD5 secure plus client side. Yeah, of course. Let's store master key as a client. Yeah, dude. You know what? If I ever reach 100K subscribers, if I'm making some really good money, right? I would love to do just like these hack the box or try hack me subscriptions. I would love to host at least do these raffles for somebody to be able to come to these events, pay for their tickets or something. Would be nice, right? Thank you so much, man. But hopefully I can do for so many people. It would be nice. I can just pay for if somebody's in India, DEF CON India, I will pay for their. Somebody in US, same thing. It would be fun to be able to do those things. I'll be Mr. Beast of fucking hacking giveaways.
Right.
I will hack you and get it, sure thing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's read this. The weak password hashing and the fact that telemessage site was programmed with JSP, an early 2000 era technology for creating web apps in Java. So Java, JSP, right? Let me give you guys this. Yo, CH, we should create a platform like Hack the Box. Dude, it would be actually not that, UI would be hard. But yeah, creating those is not that hard. Actually, this is interesting you mentioned. I will show you something. Java server pages, basically using Java, a very bad idea. Don't use Java. That's what Wrench was saying, right? Don't use Java or Python for UI. Don't. Use Material UI and React. You can get things done way faster. But I want to show you something, lads. Quickly. Sorry, I was thinking to do what you were saying, bro. This is BC Auction, right? One of the provinces in Canada, right? And look at their electronics and stuff. So they have a lot of Lenovo ThinkPad N90s for $81. No hard drive. We can put our own hard drive. PyQt, yes. I have tried it. It's okay compared to if you use Java is ass 100%. But if you use something like Tailwind, if you use something like Tailwind, CSS, and Material UI, your UI can become so much faster if you don't need a lot of things, because so many designs will already be there for you. The table will be there for you. Text fields are going to be there. All these alerts, everything will be there. But yeah, Java is asked for it. But I was looking into these, Lenovo ThinkPad, all these, something I can afford. And these are good ones, right? 16 GB RAM, Intel. Things at least I can get started for you guys if anybody likes to make these ones. Yeah, you can, yeah. UI is it? Oh, you were talking about the web UI. Yeah. Web UI. Yeah. So like we can 100% like if this is something I would love to put. I was thinking we can do a bunch of download a bunch of movies online and just like create a Netflix at home. So we all can just use. We don't have to pay. I wanted it for Scooby Doo. Honestly, like I specifically wanted to create a server like a Netflix one for home so I can watch Scooby Doo Hindi. Yeah, as long as the battery is good, it's a good bargain. And these auctions from governments are such a good bargain. But like, bro, I just wanted Scooby Doo, and like another one I wanted was Kochi Kame. Yeah, so I wanted to do this. I was thinking at one point to do this just for fun. Yeah, Doraemon is goat, man. Doraemon. Yo, I had Dora cake for the first time. It's pretty good. It's like I will say in terms of Indian sweets, 7 out of 10. It's interesting to have. I was playing to make PS5 like thing using the oh wow. Yo, Plex TV. I think yeah. Oh, I think I've heard this one. Yeah. Dude, this is good. Like we can play, we can do some stuff. Yeah. But dude, Dora cake is 7 out of 10. It's a good one to try once in your life. Okay, but yeah, as I was saying, JSP, right? Nobody uses JSP, early 2000 era stuff, right? For creating web apps, gave the hacker the impression that their security must be poor because I don't think it's ever getting updated. Hoping to find vulnerable JSP files, the hacker then used Ferox Buster, a tool that can quickly find publicly available resources on a website. Ooh. Lads, dropping a good name, man. Ferox Buster. Let's see. Maybe in future we can do a comparison of Ferox Buster versus Go Buster. That'd be interesting. Let me put it here. Where am I? Interesting things we are learning here. Okay, let's go back. But this is what I want to share. So I was thinking, Sriram, that's a great idea. Even in India, probably there might be some auctions for every happens, right? If you know, like the Telgi scam, the 50,000 crore, like, if you know about this scam, right? Oh, you have used this tool? How is it like compared to GoBuster? Or also Telgi scam, right? We talked about this. He bought from the government auctions those machines. So auctions happen for sure. You just have to find them. Okay, let's go back, right? Let's go back. GoBuster is good. Ferox is okayish. Oh, okay, you guys tried it. Nice. That's good to know.
The hacker also noticed that the login page was programmed in ancient Java technology called JSP. And so they used a tool called Ferox Buster to see if they could find any JSP files that might be vulnerable that they didn't know about. And then they also ran Ferox Buster on archive.telemessage.com too. And that's when they found the heap dump endpoint. Here's the full URL. If you made a GET request to this URL, the server responded with a Java heap dump, which is basically a 150 megabyte file containing a snapshot of the server's memory. That's it.
Do you want me to make a GET request to this? Let's do a GET request. Yeah, thanks for the full URL. I don't want to make it through my own one. Let's make it here. Let's see. Archive.telemessage.com management heap dump. What am I doing now? Oh, a CHIVE. Telemessage management. Okay, let's see. Oh, now it's forbidden. Now it's forbidden. Now it's forbidden.
A heap dump, which is basically a 150 megabyte file containing a snapshot of the server's memory. That's it.
Good call. Good call. Good call. I didn't think of it. Just paste the URL. Yeah. Thank you so much, man. I forgot about it. No, nothing. Archive. Ghost, what's up? What's up? Why? I just want to see if there is something there. This one is for book web pages. Okay. Yeah, not the endpoint. Yeah. Save 2 times. Here. Forbidden now. What about before this? Ooh, we have something here. Why? Oh, they probably... They probably told the company to forbidden it. That was a good call, though. That was a good call. Imagine we found it.
Who knows how many years people have been exploiting this? My source figured it out immediately, as soon as they started poking at it. So the archive server was built using Spring Boot.
Love his t-shirt, though, man. Rage against machine learning. Yeah, like probably they like as soon as they like the hack got leaked, they probably like did that. But that's crazy. I love the rage against machine learning. I love that t-shirt.
Which is an open source framework for making Java applications. Spring Boot includes a set of features called Actuator that are useful for developers for monitoring and debugging the application. And one of these features is the heap dump endpoint. Spring Boot's documentation says, since endpoints may contain sensitive information, careful consideration should be given about when to expose them. And as you can see at the bottom, in the latest version at least, the heap dump endpoint is not exposed by default, but it was exposed on Telemessage's archive server. Here is a blog post from the cloud security company Wiz. It lists...
So Wiz is the company that also was able to find a bunch of issues with DeepSeek, and it's a really good company. So let's have a look. Exposed heap dump file. So first of all, it's not usually up there. They made it available. The Spring Boot Actuator, whatever, heap dump endpoint is designed to capture the current state of the Java heap, making it a valuable tool for diagnosing memory issues. So all the memory we can see. However, if credentials such as password tokens, cloud keys, or other secrets are loaded into the memory as a Java application, Java application's JVM during its runtime, these might be included in the heap dump. Yeah, Wiz is like a crazy good one. It's crazy. So first of all, the application, like, they should not be like sharing like these stuff, right? Inside the application and stuff. Therefore, and if you're handling with government, it should be just-in-time access type stuff. Therefore, if accidentally configured to be publicly exposed, this endpoint could reveal this sensitive information to unauthorized users. Up until version 1.5 2017, the heap dump endpoint was configured as publicly exposed and accessible without authentication by default. Since then, in later versions, Spring Boot has changed its default configuration, expose only health and info endpoints without authentication. So let's have a look. 1 second. I want to check something. So if I go, instead of management, if I go health, This is also gone. Gone. Everything is going Dutch. And what was the another one? Info. I just am curious if any of these are available. No, all those are taken down. Imagine we find something here. Send the link. Okay. You're going to do a Go Buster on it? Imagine by the time this video ends, you are able to find something more. What if it's just message management? Nothing.
Exposed heap dump file as the #1 misconfiguration in Spring Boot Actuator. This says that the heap dump endpoint has been disabled by default since version 1.5, which was released in 2017. So why was it exposed to the public on archive.telemessage.com? There are two possibilities. Either Telemessage reconfigured their server to expose it to the public, or they haven't updated their version of Spring Boot in 8 years, and they're still using the old default.
Damn.
The day after my 404 media story about the hack, NBC News reported that Telemessage took down its service. So if you were just scrambling to write down that URL a minute ago, sorry, it doesn't work anymore.
Damn.
I confirmed at the time that archive.telemessage.com was rejecting HTTP requests, and it still is. This is also around the time that Telemessage took everything down from their website, which is why all of my screenshots of their website are from archived versions of it. The NBC News article also mentions that a second hacker hacked Telemessage. The source who contacted me said that they just exploited Telemessage enough to confirm that it was vulnerable. But NBC's source said that they, quote, downloaded a large cache of files. So that weekend, at least 2 separate hackers had hacked Telemessage. And this is within days of the photograph of Mike Waltz using TM SGNL.
Yeah.
After publishing my story in 404 Media, I decided to analyze TM SGNL's Android app source code to figure out exactly how it works. And I published this detailed analysis, which you could read on my website. I basically concluded that Telemessage lied about supporting end-to-end encryption, and that this Israeli company can access plain text messages going through its service. Telemessage's modified Signal app is almost identical to the real Signal app, except there's extra code that also archives messages. TM SGNL uses...
So we have device running Signal, another device running Signal. There is Signal server, right? HTTPS archive. So in the devices running that are running, all things Microsoft 365, all the stuff is getting archived as well.
This is the official Signal servers, and TM SGNL users can have end-to-end encrypted chats with Signal users. If you're a Signal user, there is no way to tell whether or not the people you're talking to are using Signal or TM SGNL. The difference is the Telemessage app monitors for all incoming and outgoing messages and then saves them into a local SQLite database. Then it uses a background syncing service to regularly query the database for messages that haven't been archived yet, and then it sends those to the archive server over HTTPS in plain text. These are already plain text messages. The Telemessage archive server box here is archive.telemessage.com, the server that handed out heap dumps to anyone who asked.
Imagine so much information.
Once the messages are on the archive server,
how is crypto going? Oh, we completed our crypto today, bro. We were about to, like, I had a choice, either go over this premium room today, or this was shared to me on LinkedIn by somebody really smart. I really admire. Oh, thank you so much to follow us. Thank you. Welcome to family. But yeah, so this was shared by somebody who is like a genius in tech, right, to me, and said to have a look into this. So that's why I was actually tempted to look, because that person is big. Did anybody commented on the t-shirt yet? I want that t-shirt. Yeah, I saw that t-shirt. I did comment it. Rage Against the Machine Learning. I loved it. Attaboy. It's such a good one too. It's such a good one too.
Once the messages are on the archive server, telemessage then delivers them to their final destination, which is controlled by the customer. This is either an SMTP email server, an SFTP file server, or Microsoft 365. But in any case, they all go through the archive server first. This is from Telemessage's marketing material for their modified Signal app. It advertises end-to-end encryption from the mobile phone through to the corporate archive. This is a lie. I could tell it was a lie because the Android app source code seems to just send plain text messages to their archive server. But even without analyzing the source code, I could still tell that they lied because the Java heap dump files include plain text Signal messages. Senator Ron Wyden published a letter demanding that the Justice Department investigate the, quote, serious threat to U.S. national security posed by Telemessage, a federal contractor that sold dangerously insecure communication software to the White House and other federal agencies. He cited my research that proves Telemessage had lied about end-to-end encryption. And he also demanded an investigation into whether the company has shared US government communications with the Israeli government and whether the Israeli government played any role in the product's dangerous design.
100%, 100%, 100%. Bro, there was so much tension. Of course they did.
So remember how NBC News reported that there was a second hacker who hacked Telemessage and they downloaded a large cache of files? On May 19th, Distributed Denial of Secrets released hundreds of gigabytes of heap dumps hacked from Telemessage's archive server. That's the large cache of files from the second hacker. If you're not familiar with them, DDoS Secrets is a nonprofit transparency collective that publishes hacked and leaked data sets for journalists and researchers, and I'm a member of the collective. Because the data has so much personal identifiable information in it, they're only distributing this data set to journalists and researchers, but not to the public. But they distribute lots of other data sets just to everyone. Reuters was the first news organization to report on this data set. They had found more than 60 government users of telemessage apps with material from disaster responders, customs officials, several US diplomatic staffers, at least one White House staffer, and members of the Secret Service. I dug into this data set. Heap dump data is not easy to work with. And this data is also extremely incomplete. It's common to find a piece of a JSON object that contained a plain text message, but that's cut off early, or to find a single message in a group chat without any other messages around it. Most of the chat logs are from May 4th, which makes sense since that's the day it was hacked, but I also found older messages from as far back as late 2022 in the heap dumps. I would expect that the archive server would forward the messages to the corporate final destinations and then delete them. But if that were the case, why were there messages from 2022 in memory on May 4th? So who knows what their retention policy is, but it's certainly possible that they retain all of the messages sent through their service.
So another thing, I don't know if how, like just from my perspective, right, I have to give. Like I have an accountant, right? To save my taxes, need a smart guy. His company can store only for 7 years because of the province I live in. So based on the province, you should check, and you can actually like sue a company for a good amount of value if they are, first of all, being asked to you. Second, if they are breaking the law. As a hacker, you can sue more and do whatever you like.
So who knows what their retention policy is, but it's certainly possible that they retain all of the messages sent through their service. Java heap dump files are binary files. They're intended for debugging Java applications, and they contain information about all the objects in memory at the time the heap dump was created. I don't really care about most of that stuff, though, so the simplest way to find the juicy stuff is to run strings on the files. When you run strings on a file, it outputs all the printable strings, which includes JSON objects, and it ignores all the binary data. So I ran strings on each heap dump file and saved the output, which turned 384 gigabytes of heap dumps into 83 gigabytes of text data. Here's an example of a plain text signal message in JSON format that I found in the heap dumps.
Okay, let's read. Phone number is given, so many 4 recipients are there. Understanding Citizens Brigade, broadcast phone. Signal message from this to chat. Okay. You can't just say a thing, not know anything about it, and not expect to challenge. Text. Interesting. Okay.
It was sent to a group called Upstanding Citizens Brigade. It includes the phone numbers of the sender and all the recipients. I redacted the full phone numbers here, but I left the area codes. And the message says, you can't just say a thing, not know anything about it, and not expect to be challenged. So whatever they're talking about, it sounds very contentious. But this is an example of proof that TM-SGNL is not, in fact, end-to-end encrypted from the mobile phone through to the corporate archive. I knew what some chat messages looked like from my earlier journalism, but I didn't know if they were all in the exact same format. And it was also possible that the heap dumps contained other useful information besides chat logs. So I decided to write code that would extract every single completely intact JSON object from all of the text data and save it into a database. This way I could easily ignore duplicates. There were millions of duplicates because it's just taking memory dump minute after minute after minute from the same server. And I can maybe discover other interesting types of JSON objects too. So the Python code here takes a string as input and outputs a list of JSON objects that it found in that string. My code found lots of chat messages, but it also found a ton of useless JSON objects too. I manually looked through hundreds of objects to determine if they look useful or not, and if they didn't look interesting to me, I wrote code to skip similar objects in the future. The JSON on the left has some examples of useless objects that I skipped. And the code on the right is how I determine which objects to skip. So for example, I'm skipping a JSON object that just contains first name. And this is somewhat subjective. So it's always good if more than one person digs into data sets like this, because different people will make different decisions. And it's entirely possible that I accidentally skipped some important stuff without realizing it, which I actually learned just a few days ago that I did. I'll talk about that in a few minutes. Here's an example of one of the useful types of JSON objects. This is a validation object, and it appears to include the phone number and email address of each user who authenticated to the telemessage server. So in this case, this person works for US Customs and Border Protection because they have a cbp.dhs.gov email address. I found over 1,000 distinct email addresses in the validation data. When the code found useful data, it inserted it into a database. I ended up with the database like this, with separate tables for groups, messages, users, and other types of data. In this screenshot, I'm running a SQL query to select all group chats ordered by the group with the most messages. If you can see, one of the groups is a WhatsApp group. It's very small, but it's called MPD.
Yo. Listen. Here, see this. See this. You see this? This is funny that the name came. Is it like a fucking movie they're talking about? Let's read more. Jeffries Israel. You can do so much stuff with just data, yeah. BitBuy, Security Jeffries ET Office. Is Jeffries same as Jeffrey Epstein or something else? BSL, Telegram, Galaxy. Osprey Funds. Oh, you can tell how many AI deck ninjas. You can probably tell what's going to go next with the crypto market, or even just how the crypto or which government will fund, or what government will fund to which project. So much data. You can create a big, massive wealth, man. Nancy Polinsky state.
I looked up the individual phone numbers for this group and discovered that it's for the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department.
Damn.
A SQL database of chat logs is way more useful than hundreds.
It reminds me of the Signal government group chat. What was that?
Of gigabytes of heap dumps. But it's still pretty annoying to use. So I made myself a user interface called Telemessage Explorer. And I published it as open source so that other journalists and researchers can use it. So Telemessage Explorer is open source, but you still need to request access from DDoS secrets to get the actual data set to use it. It runs locally in Docker containers.
Cool. Respectable.
Here's a screenshot of the web app, the Telemessage Explorer app. which is just a much nicer way to browse the database than running manual SQL queries. So in this screenshot,
So this guy used Vue and it's like generic game stuff to play around.
I searched for signal. And this is showing signal groups, and there's actually only 28 signal groups. So by far, most of the chat logs are from WhatsApp by like a huge margin. And then after that, most of them are from Telegram, and only a small amount are from Signal. And
Signal was a couple of months ago. JD Vance leaked military top secret data. Invited by. Oh yeah, this is the game. This is the one we are talking about, bro. This is the one. Because that actually, like, what happened was, so, to give you context, right? Signal leaked, right? There was like a hack that happened. Yeah, it's all good. So there is a lot to capture. So this company, TM Signal, came and said, okay, we are not like Signal, we are better, we are more secure, government should use it. They used it, and that's when all this thing came. Because the Signal one, even the guy who was accidentally invited, wasn't Signal. It was because like they Siri auto-added that. Signal was has a backdoor, and I know for years, I guess now. Yeah, 100%. It has to have a backdoor. Such a big company, and like so many important people use it. So it's a very it's low so much politics there have to be. Right? It's crazy.
and WeChat. But also, this is like most of this sample is from a single Sunday in May, so it's not very representative of everyone that uses this app. But notice that one group at the bottom called POTUS Rome Vatican Press GC.
Yeah.
POTUS is short for President of the United States.
Oh.
Here's the detailed view of that signal group. This is a group that contains at least one White House staffer. There aren't that many messages in this group, but they seem to be discussing a Trump visit to the Vatican to meet with Pope Leo.
Damn.
And this is the detailed view of the message.
Do you think our official videographer can go to the official only section given that message above? Ooh. Bro, should we name our our Discord server like POTUS? Or should we name like at least one of the groups or chats to POTUS? That'd be fun.
It was sent on May 4th, and one of the recipients is the White House staffer, and it's the only White House staffer that I could find in the dataset. It's also a deleted signal message. So Telemessage must archive a copy of each message before it gets deleted. It says, do you think our official videographer can go to the official only section given that message above? But like this, a lot of the data in this data set, I don't actually have the message above, so I don't really know what they're talking about. Telemessage Explorer also lets you browse the validation objects that I showed earlier. So in this screenshot, I searched for email addresses that include .gov, and I found 71 of them. And keep in mind that all of the people listed here just happened to log into the telemessage service on Sunday, May 4th, 2025. So there's a lot more users. And here is a last-minute update to the talk. Someone from Reporters United, which is an investigative journalism network in Greece, posted this issue to the Telemessage Explorer repo like an hour or so before I was like leaving for the airport to come to DEF CON. And it turns out that Strings wasn't doing as good a job as I was hoping. Strings was filtering out Unicode characters, which means that I was missing a whole lot of stuff in the data sets that was not in using the Latin alphabet. And so they actually wrote a custom JSON carver program in Rust that does a much better job of than Strings. I thought that there were only about 60,000 messages in the data set, but it turns out that there's actually about 100,000 messages in the data set that I just learned a few days ago. And a lot of the new messages that I didn't know about are in Chinese and in Hebrew. And I don't think that any of the journalists looking through this data set have actually started looking through any of them, except for maybe some of these people in Greece. So here's an example of one of the new messages that I just found yesterday. This is a WhatsApp message from May 3rd, and it's written in Hebrew. The Google Translate translation.
So IDF, if I'm not wrong, given it's in Hebrew, which is Jewish language, Israel, IDF is Israel Defense Force. I spend a lot of time online.
Says, it translates it to protection and protection of all IDF soldiers and a speedy recovery for the few wounded. May God's presence be in the blink of an eye. So just for some context, the IDF is committing a genocide against Palestinians in Gaza.
That's very, like, I don't know if I will say that. There's like so much shit there. Like, it's just some say something, and I was like, I don't want to be part of it.
Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, is in the dataset. Here he is sending a message to the CEO of Altimeter Capital, a major investor in OpenAI. And unsurprisingly, they're talking about lobbying in Washington, D.C.
Nice.
Jared Kushner.
Shriram is mentioned, yo. Shriram Krishnan. Yo, Shriram, do you know this person? Trump's senior White House policy advisor on AI.
Is in the data set too. Kushner is the husband of Donald Trump's daughter Ivanka. Trump's senior White House policy advisor on artificial intelligence sent Kushner this sketchy-ass message about the United Arab Emirates. Kushner isn't a member of the Trump administration, yet here he is exchanging WhatsApp messages with Trump's AI guy. I don't have any more details about this conversation other than this single text message, but I am entirely convinced that it's corruption, whatever it is. And here's the Kushner family WhatsApp group. So an interesting thing about the telemessage apps is that they don't just archive the messages of the people using the apps. They archive all messages that the apps have access to.
So basically, like, because Signal app itself doesn't know if they're talking to Signal user or Signal, so they are getting all things done.
So Jared Kushner is probably the only person in his family that is using a telemessage app, yet this Israeli company has access to his private family group chat. What could possibly go wrong? This has been a story about unbelievable incompetence at the highest levels of the Trump administration. Mike Waltz added a journalist's phone number to his iPhone contact for the National Security Council spokesperson. He then invited...
So, Jolly, this is exactly what happened. Like, how the person accidentally, like whoever was the journalist, got added to a very important, like, group because of Siri, he accidentally added the wrong person's stuff. Yo, I just finished my Rust keylogger. Oh, nice. Bro, that's crazy. Like, just during the video.
Number to his iPhone contact for the National Security Council spokesperson. He then invited the journalist to a Signal group where they discussed war crimes. Pete Hegseth, who runs the largest military in the world, with an $850 billion annual budget and over 5,000 nuclear warheads, told the Signal group with the journalist, "We are currently clean on OPSEC." Tulsi Gabbard and John Radcliffe lied to Congress about it. Then, instead of using Signal, which is very secure if used properly, they switched to TM-SGNL. They trusted Telemessage, a utterly incompetent company founded by Israeli intelligence agents to archive their chat logs. And Mike Waltz checked his TM-SGNL messages while a Reuters photographer was right behind him. Telemessage lied about end-to-end encryption in their product, and they exposed an endpoint without any authentication that let anyone who wants download a heap dump from their archive server. This is really bad. The stupidest people in America are in charge, and they are not, in fact, clean on OPSEC. Thank you.
So, great stuff. Honestly, couple of bullshit. But, like, great stuff. Stream is muted and running in background. Oh, thanks, man. But yeah, this was an interesting thing. Now, actually, so to answer you, Wrench, right? I believe this is my share the code. Sure. Oh, there might be. Oh, to him. I'm just thinking, I gave this talk at DEF CON. Let's see. Initial analysis, link, blah, 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 link. References. I will share this link too, lads. This will be very helpful to you guys. Haha, but wait. Didn't know that they even hacked it. By the way, WhatsApp using encrypted SQLite with device key. Yeah. Dude, it's crazy. Encryption and these. I'll make a detector for it. Yeah, but yeah, let's have a look at this one. This might give you a lot of good information. Mining hackers history from over half a million. Comrade 64. Oh, they have like all chats here, all the speakers. Remote code execution via MIDI messages. Okay. Bit unlocker, leveraging Windows recovery to extract big logger secrets. That's very bad. Paywall optional stream for free with a new technology recursive request exploitation. Oh, okay. The one Bitcoin heist, making a custom hashcard module to solve a decade-old puzzle challenge. Damn, lads, this is some no VPN needed. Cryptographic attacks against the OPC UA protocol. Okay. Well, we don't have to do crypto basics tomorrow. Patching critical infrastructure, winners of DARPA AI Cyber Challenge. Nice. Andrew. Okay. Visualizing based insecurity. Weaponizing WBS. Inside look of Chinese operational relay network. Okay. Dude, there's so much good shit here. Chrome alone. Transforming a browser into a C2 platform. Yo. Check this. This is good shit. Systematic McAfee scanner ML attribute. Oh, nice. Ghost call abusing web conferencing to convert command and control. Web conferencing. Everybody's going for C2. PyTorch. Oh. Unveiling the hidden pearls in Torch script engine in PyTorch. Safe harbor or hostile waters. Dude, this is so much good. I think like I will go over these, and I think I would like to like edge of tomorrow following large supply chain attack by taking 5k abundant S3 bucket from malware and beginning. So, oof. I think I'm going to go over all the list and see, let's say if we can on Sunday. No, I won't be available Sunday, but like let's say in the middle of the week somewhere, right? We can like spend some time on these. This is cool, right? This is good stuff. So I shared the link, right? Do have a look if something you think is more fun. And here's the Discord. Thank you so much for joining, sharing your experiences. Most importantly, right? Tomorrow we are going to cover a premium Try Hack Me room, public key cryptography basics. Here's the link for that as well. Hacker being hacked. Yeah, they will hack, man. Ran first try on my PC, no flag. Okay. So yeah, we will be covering this. So and I will try to see if I can get some time to go over this before our stream, so I have extra information to share with you guys, so I can do better work, because I know there's a lot of maths you might get like confused. So let me hopefully able to skip that part by me explaining things, right? But yeah, lads, this is your favorite hacker. Are you same time here for tomorrow approximate? Yes. I will try to be here around 10 p.m. PST. And yeah, I have some holidays in October. During that time I will change only, but like for now till September at least 20th, you can say yeah, I will be here coming every day 10 p.m. IST. PST, Pacific Standard Time. Will that works right for you guys for now? Yeah, but thank you so much, lads. That's all from my side, right? Let me know if anything else you want me to cover, and I will love to. I will share my GitHub in comments if you are interested in more. Yeah. Yo, can you share? Thank you for streaming, boss. It's always great. Thank you so much for coming, Jolly. It's always good to have you and everyone here, right? And also in Discord, yeah, can you share it in Discord? It would be easy. Mr. Bones. And also, lads, the more messages you give, the more XPs you get, and I will try to compare that with the stream on Twitch as well. So person with the most points or most messages will get like a 1 month of free whatever they want, right? CH, I will send you a malware, run it please. Sure. And also, Mr. Bones, here is the link for Discord, so you don't have to go anywhere. But till then, thank you so much, lads. Have a good one. Share happiness with others. Give somebody a hug. Give somebody a compliment, including yourself. And just, apply, hack politely. I like that. Wrench. Hack politely, as Wrench says. But till then, thank you so much. This is your favorite hacker signing off with another banger video and another bigger family, right? Thank you so much. Have a good night or good day. See ya and bye. Bye everyone. Love you all. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. See ya, signing off.